Hey everybody, welcome back. In this episode, we're going to give you an update of where we are with the Jaguar. Now, on the last episode, you did see that we had some issues getting the car to start after doing the Bluetooth reset. Now, we have found out that there are some contributing issues as we further diagnosed it. Big one is the battery. Two, the BCM unit has got some really weird stuff, not making a lot of sense, but we cannot get the key to start the ignition. Now, everybody's going, well, put it into the little key fob slot. On the 2013 Jaguar XF facelift model, there is no key fob slot on the vehicle for you to do that. So according to Jaguar and the manual, you have to put it underneath the fog lamp button, and it will keep telling you to reposition the key fob until it reads it, which is a task that is a pain. But we'll get into that more in the next video of what we found out about this vehicle and some of the history, because we had a topics report that told us what came in this vehicle when it was manufactured, and there was a big clue that we found that is actually making sense with what we found inside the vehicle and the history, the possible history of this car, with some of the other things that we found during our troubleshooting of the car's key problem. So in this one, our problems have gotten bigger. Now, you've probably seen in the news over the last few weeks, JLR was hacked. They had a cyber attack. They were hacked. They were basically shut down worldwide. They couldn't deliver cars. They couldn't manufacture cars. They couldn't even get parts out the door. And that's where we're now having more problems. Part of our key relearning process is you have to have two key fobs. Irregardless of how many keys you're going to relearn, you need to have a minimum of two working keys. And in our case, well, we had the two keys. So should have been straightforward. No. Unfortunately, the second key, and I'll put a picture of it up later, doesn't have the unlock button. It's completely broken off inside. And no matter how you do it, in what order, you need to press the unlock button several times while it's relearning the key. And, well, we've got one broken fob. So what happens is when it gets to the end of the procedure to relearn the keys in this beautiful Jaguar, it basically errors out and nothing happens. Not a big deal, you would normally say. Go to Jaguar, fill out the paperwork, show your registration, the VIN number, and they'll order a new key. Well, we can't. Jaguar has been basically shut down by these hackers for whatever reason. I can understand if they have a beef with Jaguar. I kind of not liking them right now either, because the silly way that they have made their vehicle for you to do an emergency start without using the metal key inside. Why didn't they do it like everybody else, and you pop your start go button and you put your metal key in there and you can start your engine, and at least you can get your vehicle out of where it is. If the system fails, you are stuck wherever you are at. So if that's why they've got a beef with Jaguar, I can understand it. But who really knows why they really hacked them? Could be for money, could be ransom, who knows what's going on there. So we went to Jaguar to see if we could get a new key fob, and we are looking at a minimum of 6 to 8 weeks before Jaguar in the UK, if they can, send it out here. here comes the next bit of a problem. Our postal workers are doing strikes again here in Canada. Awesome, guys. Thank you very much. And it may take longer for that to get delivered. So I'm looking realistically, maybe end of January, to get the key fob replaced with one without a broken button. Thank you to the previous owner for giving me one with a busted button. To get this thing moved. But we might have a savior. Looking online, there is a company in the States, and there's another woe, is getting that item brought in from the USA over to Canada, is a company who provides OEM programmable keys for Range Rover, Jaguar, other vehicles and everything else at a fraction of a cost. Now, Jaguar is wanting about $800 for this. That I believe includes the $100 and something to program it, which I can understand, going through the programming sequence, while they would definitely charge to program your key into the car. But $800 for this key isn't worth it. And as I said to the parts guy at the dealership, Jaguar Land Rover keys are garbage. I mean, look at this. It's peeling apart. And my Range Rover ones did the same thing. They just start peeling apart. You can't really glue this back on. And then you have to go get a new key. So I went and got aftermarket bodies to put them on, because I'm not going to fork out a lot of money for a case when the ones from the dealership just break after X amount of time being in your pocket. Don't know why, but the rubber just separates. They're just garbage. I did tell them that the Mercedes keys were a lot superior, and also, I could pop my start button out and stick the metal key into my Mercedes and start the engine. I didn't have to worry if the key fob completely died. I could start the vehicle with the metal manual key. Jaguar, you might want to go back to that. But anyways, so we are now looking at another source to see if we can get the key sent out to us a lot sooner and for a lot cheaper. I think they were $85 US. The key is unlocked, and that was one of the things you needed to have, is an unlocked key to be able to pair it up with the vehicle. So we're going to see if we can do that. It may work, it may not work. We don't know at this point, but for $85, it's not a break the bank thing, and if it solves the problem, we're up and running. So that's going to be really cool. If not, then we have to buy the $800 key from Jaguar and wait the time before we can even get this vehicle started again, so we can move it to different locations. So that's where we're at right now with the vehicle. We did get some parts in that came in just guess during the middle of the hack on JLR. We did get the camera loom in for the backup camera. Now, as you know, with the Jaguars, if your backup camera, your reverse camera goes out, so does your parking sensors. Again, a silly way of doing things like that, but we've got the loom for it, and we are going to film how to change the loom and the right way to change the loom, because there is a little arrow on these things that you may or may not see, and you have to put them actually in the right way. Now, yes, we did spring out for a Jaguar loom when there was other options there, but for the price difference, it wasn't that much. We were looking at $180 online from a third-party OEM spec wiring loom, and it was just a little over $200 with taxes from actual Jaguar. So the cost savings there wasn't great, so we went with the actual Jaguar loom. So we will be filming that in the video, our next video, where we also go into some of the things we're finding in here as we've just been going through doing some cleanups and some of the stuff that the team noticed. And then when we compared it to the topics report on this vehicle, this history is starting to become more clear. And it's a little bit shocking how this car never had its status changed. So that'll be in the next video. Right now, can't really do much because I need parts. I need the software. We're waiting for the, well, we got the software download for the actual SSD or SDD software, sorry, SDD software that is used on Jaguar Land Rover. We've got a copy of it. We're just waiting to register it. And we got to put it onto a VM and use it on a Mac, or I'm going to go out and buy a laptop. But the part we're really waiting for is the actual Mongoose cable, which is a pass-through data cable that allows us to program both the Jaguar and the Range Rover. We're waiting for that. That's probably going to be, realistically, with this time of year and the postage rotating strikes, we're probably looking mid-December for it. So we'll be filming probably 1 or 2 more videos, and then during December, we're just going to take some time off and chill. We've actually done a lot of work trying to remodel everything that we're doing, our equipment, things like that, how the thumbnails are built and designed. Everything is being relooked at. And I want to say thank you to the 145 people who have subscribed, who have clicked like and subscribe. You're keeping this going. Every time we get more and more subscribers, it's a renewed feeling for us to continue to work on this. And that's the whole reason we got this, was so I didn't have to use what's over there in the background there, the silver, dark gray, silver-ish Land Rover. But this was why this was bought. We just didn't know it was going to turn out the way it was. But our hopes are still up. We're still energetic about it. We're still hopeful. We're sure that we can get this done. And yeah, tell you a little bit more about the history of this vehicle as we peel back the layers of this onion and try and put it all together for you, and maybe give you some tips for the future when you go out to buy a used car from an individual, because a lot of times it's the private sale that gets you. And if you look at some of the other YouTubers, yes, it's the private sale that can get you. So, with that being said, there's not more I can film on this today. I just want to say thank you to everybody that's viewed, sent comments to us and everything else. Thank you. You're keeping this going, and I can't be more happier and, you know, more touched with the great comments that we've got on this project and with some of our other projects. Please share with your friends, get them to subscribe, help us out, keep this channel growing. We're at 145. We need to get to 500 for our first milestone with YouTube. And then from there on, everything is going to be great. But I just wanted to say thank you. And ciao for now until the next video.